Purposely. Your life, God's purpose. Listen at purposely.com.
There are two kinds of people in this world: plant people and plant killers. There is no in between. You either have a green thumb or you don't. And I, Jen Schultz, your host of the Bible for Busy People podcast, do not. Clearly, this show is not sponsored by any local plant store. So for every plant that comes into my home, it either leaves in a trash bag or it's tossed unceremoniously into our backyard. And yes, that includes succulents, which apparently are supposed to be really hard to kill. My favorite plants ever were the ones that grew in front of our first home. They were called knockout roses, and they bloomed and rebloomed all throughout spring and summer with only the sun and rain that God gave it, and absolutely no care whatsoever from me. And that is my kind of plant, ladies and gentlemen. So you can imagine, I know very little about what it would take to plant crops or manage a whole farm or a field. So I'm really in no place to judge. However, I look at this story today and I think, maybe I would have done things a little bit differently. So this week we've been talking about atrocious math. In fact, I even joked at the beginning, is God bad at math? Now, obviously that's not the case because God invented math. God is not bad at anything. But we look at some of these stories in the Bible and we think, the math doesn't math there. It doesn't quite add up. And these stories really are examples of God's abundant grace. Abundant grace can seem outrageous. It can leave us feeling offended, or it can even feel too extravagant because our society is transactional and capitalistic, at least in the United States, and we really believe that you get what you earn. But God's math looks different than ours, and God's grace operates outside of earning, striving, and proving. Today we're going to look at another situation where the math doesn't really math. It doesn't seem efficient. It doesn't seem like the right way to go about things. In Matthew 13, verse 1, it says, "That same day, Jesus went out of the house and sat by the lake. Such large crowds gathered around him that he got into a boat and sat in it while all the people stood on the shore. Then he told them many things in parables, saying, 'A farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Some fell on rocky places where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow, but when the sun came up, the plants were scorched, and they withered because they had no root. Other seed fell among thorns, which grew up and choked the plants. Still other seed fell on good soil, where it produced a crop, 160 or 30 times what was sown. Whoever has ears, let them hear.' The disciples came to him and asked, 'Why do you speak to the people in parables?' He replied, 'Because the knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven has been given to you, but not to them. Whoever has will be given more, and they will have in abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. This is why I speak to them in parables. Though seeing, they do not see. Though hearing, they do not hear or understand. In them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah. You will be ever hearing, but never understanding. You will be ever seeing, but never perceiving. For this people's heart has become calloused. They hardly hear with their ears, and they have closed their eyes. Otherwise, they might see with their eyes, hear with their ears, and understand with their hearts, and turn, and I would heal them. But blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. But blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. For truly I tell you, many prophets and righteous people longed to see what you see, but did not see it, and to hear what you hear, but did not hear it. Listen then to what the parable of the sower means. When anyone hears the message about the kingdom and does not understand it, the evil one comes and snatches away what was sown in their heart. This is the seed sown along the path. The seed falling on rocky ground refers to someone who hears the word and at once receives it with joy, but since they have no root, they last only a short time. When trouble or persecution comes because of the word, they quickly fall away. The seed falling among the thorns refers to someone who hears the word, but the worries of this life and the deceitfulness of wealth choke the word, making it unfruitful. But the seed falling on good soil refers to someone who hears the word and understands it. This is the one who produces a crop yielding 160 or 30 times what was sown. I came upon a blog post from a website called Higher Things, where the author expresses similar surprise to the farmer's ways, as I would feel reading this passage. It says, "This parable shocks us. The sower seems so utterly foolish and wasteful. We even try to find ways around it, but in the text it doesn't work. The sower sows and seed falls in 4 different places. It's the same words, the same action, the seed just lands in those places. And try as we might to explain it away, there the sower is, just tossing out the seed and letting it fall all over the place. And we want the sower to be a better sower, to be more precise, to make sure that everything goes just to the right place so that nothing gets wasted." What a waste of seeds! Which is a waste of resources, which is a waste of money and time. Wouldn't the farmer be as strategic and efficient as possible sowing seeds where they were most likely to grow? But here's the thing. We don't get to make that call. We don't know where the seeds are going to be the most effective. We don't know what will happen to the seeds after the birds pick them up and maybe drop them somewhere else. We just don't know. The good news is planted and sprouts and grows in all kinds of places, under all kinds of conditions. It's not up to us to be strategic and efficient. It's up to us to go with God's plan and be part of spreading the good news everywhere we can. God is generous with scattering seed because he wants as many people to have the opportunity to respond to it as possible. He wants to reach every person and restore every relationship with us. Also, we talked about this in our Dust and Dirt series a while back, where I shared this. The point isn't to worry over whether you have all the right elements and the perfect situation for the word to grow. It's not to figure out if you're the right soil. It's to be open and receptive to the word, to see it grow and produce fruit in your life. So you may or may not be skilled at keeping plants alive. I am not, but I do want to add that my kids fare much better in our house, by the way, than plants do. You may or may not know the best way to plant, but we know that God is absolutely generous in how he scatters the seeds of the word. Are we open to what it has to teach us? Do we have our ears listening and our eyes seeking the Holy Spirit's transformation of our hearts? That's my question for you today, and I will chat with you again tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to The Bible for Busy People. If you need prayer or want to go deeper in your faith, visit our show notes. Will you take a moment to share with a friend and leave a review? It helps the Bible get into even more people's minds and hearts. Find more podcasts that will recharge you at purposely.com.
Thanks for listening. We just wanted to take a minute to let you know that just like you and your family, Purposely is also part of a family, the Krista family of ministries. Krista helps kids and teens learn and grow in their faith at King Schools and Miracle Ranch Camp. And Krista shares Jesus with people in the poorest, most remote places through World Concern. Krista Senior Living is a community of love and care, and Krista Media is a place of hope on the radio. God is changing lives through these 5 ministries, and Krista is on mission to share the good news of Jesus. To learn more, visit Krista.org.